Good morning, students. This is going to be our lesson on week 5, day 1 for writing. We're wrapping up our organization, and we have been talking in the last couple of weeks about different ways that we want to structure our work to make it more effective and make the audience enjoy what they're listening to. And last week we talked about introductions and leads, and the importance of having a good hook that sort of brings your audience into what you're talking about. Um, what we're going to talk about this week is how do we conclude a topic? Because if we talk about how introductions are important and useful, then naturally conclusions would also be useful and important. I think that conclusions are one of the harder ones to do well because it really takes a strong writer to understand exactly what they were trying to convey as they wrote. Um, and so what we're going to be working on today is that specific idea. So here we have in front of us um, two examples of introductions and conclusions. So this first one is, I'll read it to you. It says introduction. Do you remember the last time you or someone you know bought an actual CD? For most people, it's been a long time. Yet there are millions of CDs floating around the world in homes, cars, and unfortunately landfills. So, architect Clemence Elliard and artist Elias Morin collected 65,000 CDs and used them to create an enormous work of art entitled Waste Landscape. So, that first part is what should be getting us interested in what's going to be talking about. It so, what things do we expect to find in this writing? Well, we're going to talk about probably the wastefulness of CDs, and possibly they're going to describe what's in this waste landscape and what are they doing with it. And then the conclusion is, but the artists aren't willing to let their medium fill the dumps when the exhibit is over. They have sworn that they will recycle the CDs into polycarbonate, a material that has hundreds of uses. Through recycling, both their art and their efforts will live on. So, the start of this gives us the idea that there's a problem that's being dealt with, which is CDs and landfills. And this architect and artist both wanted to sort of bring the attention to that. And it concludes with that a natural conclusion, actually, because at some point the exhibit's going to be over, and the artist and architect decided that instead of doing something with their CDs like they were advertising against, which was putting them in landfills, they're going to make them recycled. They're going to recreate them and move them on to something useful. And the idea is to sort of follow through on their own stories. So, what they want you to do is explain what is good about this conclusion. The second part of this is they're going to give us an introduction to an idea, and we need to figure out what would be a good closing to this idea. What would give us a sense of completeness. The starts off with, "Have you ever thought about how a mug is made?" It's actually quite easy. With the right tools and a little skill, anyone can make a mug that is both attractive and functional. So, if we're introducing the idea of how to build a mug, hopefully by the end, whoever's reading it knows how to build a mug. So, we're working on this idea for this week because it's too easy to fall into the trap of saying, well, in conclusion, and then just repeat what your main points are, or as you've now heard, and then finish off your points. I hear this most when we're doing um, speech contest. The speech contest usually has really good introductions and really good openings, but really when it comes to conclusions, students really struggle to understand how do they make an effective conclusion, and this is just the start of it. So if you can get this done and complete, I don't believe it'll take you terribly long, but that's what is due for today. I hope you have a wonderful day.